Hi everyone, it's Joaquin from Carrollwood Estates. We're going to take a look at how Brentwood 90049 performed this September and review the top 10 sales and who the buyers are. Overall, we've seen a lot more variation in the market. We're seeing new records and amazing sales and some sales that are a little bit less impressive compared to the first quarter of this year. Let's get to it. First up on the list, 11740 Crescenda Street. This one sold for $44 million. One of the most important estates in Los Angeles. My firm, Carrollwood, sold this. We represented the seller. This is the biggest sale on the west side since 2021. We have 3.5 completely flat acres. This Mallorca-inspired villa was designed by the renowned architect Bob Ray Offenhauser and built by Peter McCoy Construction, with gardens by Todd Bennett. The house, it's built with imported stone from Mallorca. It features 20-foot coffered ceilings, a 2-story dining room, an equally impressive library. This is all serving as a grand backdrop for entertaining. And then we have a pavilion and a bar that overlook the Infinity Edge pool and pool cabana, all framed by the expansive manicured grounds. The primary suite, it feels like a world of its own with sweeping views over the vast lawns, very reminiscent of Montecito. There are 4 generous family bedrooms, each with a built-in study. So cool, I like that. Plus, of course, a large guest suite. You need a junior guest room, and you can't forget the staff quarters. In total, we have 8 bedrooms. The grounds are unbelievable, rolling meadows and olive alley, formal rose gardens, courtyards, water features, a tennis court, a sport court. Inside, there's a catering kitchen, a large gym, 1,200 bottled wine cellar, a game room, and a service building with a separate entrance. The seller was Bob Byer, one of LA's most established finance figures. He co-founded Crescent Capital, a credit-focused investment firm later acquired by TCW Group, where he served as CEO and oversaw more than $150 billion in global investments. Next up on our list, 130 South Cliffwood Ave. This one sold for $13.488 million. One of the original homes in Brentwood Park, built in 1925, an exceptionally restored New England traditional. It's set back from the street behind tall gates and mature gardens. Towering sycamores frame the property, and you have a nice large motor court that welcomes you inside. One of the first things you're going to notice is the level of craftsmanship. There's wainscoting, wood paneling, detailed casings around every doorway and hallway, coffered ceilings, custom built-ins. It sounds like a lot. It's a lot of wood, but it's done in such an elevated and refined way. It's proper, it's balanced, and it's full of architectural polish. The primary suite has treetop vistas and a large terrace overlooking the gardens and the yard. Throughout the home, you're going to find white oak floors, marble finishes in the kitchen and the bathrooms, and thoughtful hardware and lighting fixtures, an abundance of windows and French doors framing the lush landscaping that really wraps around the house. The lot, it slopes gently, but it's terraced beautifully with layered gardening and a significant flat grassy pad. The backyard does have a 2-story guest house with a bedroom suite, poolside cabana, living room, a kitchenette, and a gym. Outdoors, we also have a trellis-covered terrace, a large swimmers pool, and a spa, all surrounded by mature greenery. It recorded at $13.488 million, which feels a bit light given the quality and the scale. It is a respectable $2,150 per square foot, but I think it could have maybe traded higher. Either way, a truly special home and property. Next, 425 South Burlingame Ave. This one sold for $12.1 million. First time on the market in over 50 years. Set on an expansive 32,400 square feet lot with a tennis court. It's really surrounded by towering mature trees that create a very private and serene setting. The property has a real sense of natural beauty and scale. The buyer's a neighbor in Brentwood Park, a local entrepreneur. He designs and manufactures some of the best looking high-end furniture, lighting, rugs, home decor. He recently sold 127 South Burlingame for $23 million, and I assume this will be his next project. His portfolio also includes 427 South Cliffwood Ave, with more in New York and Canada. He creates, really, these homes are world-class showrooms that kind of double. They're beautifully designed homes and passion projects, but they're also business strategy. This was a good sell. They probably could have pushed the number a little bit higher, but the lot has a slightly irregular shape with the tennis court kind of jutting out in the corner. It's also 2 houses from San Vicente. Overall, this was a fair deal for both sides, in my opinion. Moving on, 314 North Barrington Ave. This one sold for $10.6 million. 8,500 square foot house on a 36,000 square foot lot. Super unique architectural home designed by architect Eric Rosen. The architecture blends really futuristic geometry with warm, inviting materials, kind of creating this nice balance between innovation and comfort. The house is woven into the hillside. Portions of it kind of jut out dramatically over the terrain while others nestle into it. Inside, you're going to find marble, glass, concrete, and steel used throughout, giving the house both mid-century and a forward-looking feel. My favorite room is a family room. You have these huge sliding glass doors that open to an expansive treetop view. It's a beautiful elevated setting on the primary level. The lot has a very significant slope here, but it's been terraced well again, so most of it remains usable. At the top of the house, there's a rooftop observation deck. You can capture panoramic views of the Getty and really nice vantage point over the estate. It's truly a unique property, and it closed at a good number, although it came in well below the seller's original asking price of $14 million. You guys, the buyer makes perfect sense for this house. The buyer is held by the family trust of the television screenwriter and producer who created Star Trek. So they're coming over from Hollywood Hills as well. Next, 404 South Westgate Ave. This sold for $8.9 million. It's a 5,000 square foot house on an almost 11,000 square foot lot. It's a traditional colonial revival with a New England influence in Brentwood Flats. Classic black shutters, dormer windows, multi-pane windows, and a gabled portico give the exterior that timeless East Coast charm. The property also sits on a very sizable 10,900 square foot lot. It is gated. Inside, there are new white oak floors, custom cabinetry, fresh stone surfaces in the kitchen and bathrooms, and new tiling throughout. I especially like the vaulted ceiling in the primary suite. It gives the room a real sense of scale and volume. It looks like a great remodel from the past few years. It's solid, clean, move-in ready, but it does miss some of the ultra high-end finishes you'd expect at this price point. Still, the architecture and the bones are great, and it sits on a very large flat lot on a prime street in Brentwood Flats. So that's what's going to carry a lot of the value, in my opinion. The buyer is a part of a real estate family the patriarch created and ran a public real estate investment trust that focused on healthcare and now just runs his family office. Everybody in the family has a nice house. They're all doing well. This is a very generous man, and the patriarch lives in the Riviera and Pacific Palisades on the best street. Next, 400 South Gretna Green Way. This one sold for $7.9 million. It's a transitional modern farmhouse with Scandinavian influences. This home blends transitional farmhouse architecture with subtle Scandinavian cues. The Scandinavian influence shows from the 3 distinct modern front-facing gables, that's the A-frame, and the vertical wood cladding and a weathered charcoal tone that feels both modern and organic, and the standing seam metal roof is another nod to the Nordic design. Very durable, minimalist, and architectural. I love how the mix of materials plays off one another. The painted brick on the lower level, the charcoal siding on one gable, smooth white stucco on the other, and warm chocolate wood slats across the garage. The black steel windows sharpen the edges. It's a great combination. A modern, traditional, feels fresh, sophisticated, but also grounded by a natural palette. It's a thoughtful mix of elements and natural materials that bring warmth to the contemporary form. Next, 604 South Saltair Ave. This one sold for $5.75 million. Such an incredible opportunity and piece of land. This 20,000 square foot lot, just under half an acre of mostly flat land in Brentwood Flats, sold for $5.75 million, which is an amazing deal. It did trade on the lower side, in my opinion, likely because the lot does have a slope that runs to the front. Still, it includes a nearly 5,000 square foot traditional home with a great floor plan. My guess is the buyer will remodel rather than rebuild. For context, a flat half acre in Brentwood Park runs around $12 million. About $8.5 million was the last comparable sale in the Riviera, and between really 9 million, up to 11.5 million in North Montana, depending on the location. Half-acre lot west of 7th did just sell for 11.6 million. That did have a 5,000 square foot Spanish house that I think someone will remodel and keep. So this one sold to an end user who already lives in Brentwood, so that makes sense. It's a rare find at this price for this location. Moving on, 279 South Westgate Ave. This one sold for 5.244 million. It's a about 3,500 square foot house on a 9,000, almost 400 square feet lot. It's a beautiful architectural, modern, renovated and expanded in 2003 by Lorcan O'Hurley. Nice architect. They do a lot of great work with additional extensive remodeling by Robert Steloff Design sometime in the past decade. So this is secluded from the street. The walkway to the entrance winds through a lush garden pathway. I like that. The first impression is the light. There's an abundance of light with just tons of walls of glass and multiple skylights bringing the outdoors in at every angle. From the great room, you step down past a central succulent garden atrium, leading you to 2 glass-walled bedroom suites and an open lounge or office area. From there, a floating metal staircase ascends to the treehouse-style primary suite, a stunning light-filled space surrounded by greenery. It's a very specific and architectural home, the kind of floor plan that the right buyer will truly appreciate. They priced it well at 4.8 million with a short offer window, and ended up being a very competitive situation, closing at 5.244 million. The buyer's from Pacific Palisades. They're a media executive that does writing, creative development, physical production, business oversight, and department build-out. They really do everything and have done everything over the course of their career. Very interesting guy. Next, 13176 Boca De Canon Ln. This one sold for 5.2 million. We have an updated 2-story English Tudor in pristine condition, tucked quietly at the end of cul-de-sac off Lower Mandeville Canyon. A lot of value here for this. A lot of value for this price, in my opinion. Set behind gates, the home feels completely embraced by its landscaping. Mature hedges, tall privacy walls, and climbing ivy that soften the edges. I love the extra steep gabled roof line and the timber detailing. It's that classic Tudor character that gives the home a sense of history and craftsmanship. The facade combines whitewash stucco with charcoal trim and cedar shingle roof, all of which kind of lend this old world charm. The ivy-clad garage, boxwood borders, and pea gravel path leading up to the entryway really complete the look. Elegant, timeless, and distinctly English. Next, 331 South Medio Drive. This one sold for 4.175 million. Beautiful, authentic 1927 Spanish Revival home on one of the Brentwood Flats' most sought-after streets. I love this house. It's perched slightly above the street. The house has a cinematic quality to it, the kind of romantic Spanish architecture that catches the afternoon light just right. Bougainvillea climbed the front of the wall in a nice, vibrant color, and we have this huge cedar tree that shades the lawn. It's gated. It has a character-rich courtyard that makes an immediate impression. Inside, we have imported tiles, ebony wood, distressed wood beams, custom millwork. It's a true West Side classic. Next, 384 North Bonhill Rd. This one sold for 3.8 million. Almost 2,900 square feet on a very big 10K lot. It's a gracious 1930s Spanish home on Bonhill Road off Kenter. So surprisingly, this one sold to developer. It closed at $1,300 per square foot, which is a little bit below the current Brentwood average of around $14 per square foot. Great buy for the developer. I'd estimate an exit price in this location on a 10K lot around 12 million once complete. Moving on, 330 North Saltair Ave. This one sold for 3.5 million. It's sold off market in Brentwood Flats for 3.5 million. The lot is just under 7,900 square feet and it traded for land value. I believe the buyer is an end user. The agent listed on the LLC is a CPA who works with very high net worth individuals. They're based in San Francisco, so I'd imagine that's where the buyer's coming from. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you or someone you know is thinking of selling, give us a call, shoot us a text, an email. Let us present our approach and share our thoughts on how to best maximize your asset before coming to market. We have an excellent network of professionals that prep the house from basic paint, landscaping, decluttering, minor remodel, full remodel, interior design, or staging. And if you're looking to buy, let us connect you with the off-market properties that we have available and that we know are available. Give me a call, 310-943-0909. Thank you.